morning. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. Oh, God, here we go. A daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day from the Impact Power Sports Studio. Thank you so much. We are 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from the Eric Zane Morning Show return. I don't know what you want to call it. But in 2 weeks, 2 weeks will be, I start the day doing a 4-hour radio show, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then immediately finish that up and then start doing the podcast. The only thing that's changed for the audience of this show is the start time. Excuse me, still under the weather a little bit. Has been 8 a.m. Eastern time for the longest time, and that is going to change to 10 a.m. And I think the biggest question that I've gotten about all of this is, EZ, how are you going to do all this? How are you going to fit all this into your schedule? Well, I'm just going to try like hell, I guess. Like, oh, it's easy. You can't do it. You can't do it. And it's like, I can't. I can't really let that be the barometer of my success. I can't let that infect my brain. You got to understand, this is a morning show where, like, I'm going to be playing music. The radio station was built on music. This isn't like I come in there and kick in the door and what they've built the radio station on for the last however many years. I suddenly just kick in the door and say, yeah, whatever you're used to is now out the door. Now I'm just going to go in and tell everybody what's up. I'm just going to talk for 4 straight hours. It's not like that at all. No. There's a lot of the things that you're not used to. I mean, because when I'm on this show for 2 hours, you're used to me just kind of, doing what I've been doing. That's just talk for extended time. That is not the goal here. It's an entirely different animal. I'm not in there telling long-form stories. I am in there to say, hello, good morning. Traffic here's the traffic. Weather today. Oh, let's go to the newsroom. Ooh, here's what's up in sports. Red Wings winners, Pistons losers, Lions. Yeah, it's that. Amanda says, yell at us, do impressions. Look, let me explain something to you. For the people that enjoy this show, my goal is to get every single one of you to listen. All right? But you have a real advantage here. And you have a responsibility. You all know me. They don't. So let's not alienate them. At some point, I don't know if you'll be able to communicate with each other. I guess at one point we'll be able to have some type of chat setting. I know you'll be able to text into the show. And I don't think there is an opportunity for you to interact with them, with the audience of the radio show. Now, okay, this is a touchy time for the radio station because when you get new guy coming in, there's going to be a lot of people that love the old guy. Now, the old guy left on his own accord, went into a different line of work. Okay? And so that is the best case scenario. Actually, I take it back. The best case scenario is for old guy to leave and then say, hey, by the way, you're going to love the new guy. Like you get kind of like the stamp of approval. In the meantime, when I get on the air there, it's very important to not piss people off. You're in this, hey, how are you? Eric Zaitunian mode. You don't want to do anything that's too straying off the reservation here. All right? So you just keep it above board and you slowly win over their trust. This is the first phase. Don't be an asshole. All right. You add into the whole scenario, the technological steps that we have to take to get it to where it needs to be without pulling back the curtain too much. It's just, I'm going to be a nervous Nelly in 2 weeks. But I figure as long as I can talk out of the song, say my little snippet or whatever it is I do, and then get out of it, it's a successful day. If I can do that throughout the entire show and then repeat it the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, don't expect me to reinvent the wheel here. So I don't want any of you, Amanda, hey, yeah, let's do this. Hey, let's do something funny. This sucks. Keep your mouth shut. It's going to be hard enough. There's going to be extreme anxiety here. And if there's I'm just yelling at Amanda. Amanda's the only one who would do this. Maybe Aram. Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Stay quiet. Okay? Quiet. Resist the urge to text me during the show. Silence is golden. Amanda says, I love how he thinks I'm against him. Don't do that. I don't want you to. No. I don't think you're against me, like maliciously. You're just not smart enough to understand appropriate timing. That's what I'm telling you. Ben says you got to bring back Cecil with a Y. I don't know. Tyler, the joke man, writes, Zaituni in the audience until they start to get comfortable, then slowly start to sprinkle in some Zane. Of course, you got it right. Of course, you have it down. Amanda says, if I have the urge to send you a text, I schedule it for when you're not on the radio or doing something important. Yeah, nice try, liar. God damn. That is an absolute pile of shit lie. Chris says Aram has been very quiet since last week. He understands. Yeah, okay. Look, you got to understand this. Any amount of time that Aram's quiet, he's loading up the snark cannon. Okay? It's coming. By the way, I unblocked Amanda and Aram. Those two pissed me off so goddamn bad last week that I actually blocked them on all sources. No text, no email. I don't want to hear from you. And that was it. Now I've said, okay, I'm calming down now. And part of that has to do because I consider those two. Aram says that was silly. No, it wasn't silly. You're the silly one, okay? You don't have any tact whatsoever. You have zero tact. Here I am, absolute technical meltdown last week, and there you are to rub my nose in shit. 100% appropriate. You didn't test the mics. Oh, right to the moon. Right to the moon. And you know what? Amanda's right. She says, Aram, we're back on his good side. Shut up. Yeah, exactly. Shut your fucking mouth. I'm going to ban you again. And by the way, neither of you is on my good side. All this talk about dumbass Amanda brings up her new podcast that we discussed on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. two titans of media, Amanda and Jimmy, are going to do a podcast together. I take that back. The idea was floated about these two doing a podcast together. Amanda's been talking about doing a podcast, and it's completely forgettable. She sent me a logo of her sitting on a couch, and I think it's called Eating the Couch with Amanda or something like that, where she talks like true crime. It's like, who the fuck doesn't talk about true crime? Everybody talks about true crime or talks about binging shows. And I'm like, snooze. She says armchair adventures. And it's more than true crime. Corey says, eating chocolate and watching Oprah is the name of the show. Kenny says, eating dildos with Amanda. No, it's armchair adventures. And I said, no, that's horrible. Jimmy also wants to do a podcast. He reached out to me. He says, hey, yo, what do you think about me doing a podcast with Amanda? I started to give it a Boston accent there, but then I gave up on it. Now, I, for one, think that would be the greatest idea ever. Not because it would be any good, but we all need to live in a world where there's a podcast with Amanda and Jimmy. And I said to Jimmy, okay, well, where did this come from? He goes, well, I had an idea. I wanted to do a podcast about movies, monsters, and makeup. I go, movies, monsters, and makeup. What? Because, you know, he used to put makeup on people for films and shit. And we're like, no, that's going to be the worst thing ever. And he complained about how he can play guitar in front of thousands of people, but he cannot speak. And this is true. He can't. So the ideas here are a guy who can't speak talking about movies, monsters, and makeup blended with a woman who is going to be sitting in a chair discussing topical entertainment binging. Let's blend the two and have Jimmy unbox the dildos and Amanda try them out off camera. Great podcast. Legendary. I go, that's the idea. It's blending two things. Jimmy's ridiculousness and your dildos. Add this to the list of things that will not be discussed on the radio show. I'm reasonably confident that radio station personnel watch these podcasts and they're like, what the hell? Hang on a second. My pal Michelle McCormick wants me to call her. And if Michelle says call, if Michelle says jump, I say, she says how high. Wait a minute. How's that go? I say how high. I wrote number. So that means if you turn on WLAV, I am going to be on the radio in seconds. So that is something that you can go back and forth between EZ and WLAV. All right. Call WLAV.
How'd you get your tickets from the Griffins game?
I don't know.
Oh, that's...
Oh, that hurts. Eric Zane, they had front and center seats.
Eric Zane is the voice of the Griffins.
Thanks to you. And how hammered was Trav when he began the game?
Well, Greg hadn't yet sat down, and Travis had the boldness to do a sexual gesture to indicate where he thought Greg was.
Oh, Travis.
And what was that gesture, Trav?
I can.
One of those. Yeah, one of those.
In the bathroom?
Wait,
yeah.
from my wife or some random?
Well, he was with his
No,
brother.
well,
Right.
it was sign language. I was on the ice, and then I
got
put
it.
my hands out like, "Where is he?" And then I touched my head like bald guy, and then he put his hands up, and then he did a horrible thing that I cannot not even describe. And he was surrounded by like kids and moms.
In LAV gear,
Yeah, right.
wearing in his LAV hat. Travis Gibbs.
Yeah.
Shame on you. Listen, it's a problem. It's a problem, Travis.
He was sitting up there taking up 2 chairs like Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, hello, hi.
By the way, his lovely better half has the nicest smile, and you know what she did? She waved nicely and smiled, and I waved back at her. And then Travis is doing this horrible, horrible thing.
He was karate chopping his crotch. I know he was. He does it all the time. Travis Gibbs, shame on you. All right. Anyway, thank you for the tickets. But the boys had an outing. They had a little date. And I feel like you're kind of the facilitator of these guys' dates, Eric.
I'm happy to help. You know, I mean, Greg hasn't been here that long, and he's kind of like a mentor to Travis.
I'm his dad.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good time. I showed up. Travis was ripped, and his wife was already pissed at him because he's fallen down drunk. And then you mention us, and Trav hears his name, and he stands up and he's like, "That's me! That's me!"
I knew it. I knew it.
Ay vey.
Yeah.
We can't have nice things in this house.
It was so funny because it was like he's never heard his name over a PA before.
I know.
Dang it,
I know.
Eric. God dang it.
Why did you do that? You knew he was ripped.
God bless.
Well,
You're feeding the bear, Zane.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because I knew this would happen. That's key. This is the only way I can get on the radio now.
Gotta give us tickets to the Griffins.
Right? I'm trying to weasel my way back in somehow.
Well, listen, we're glad you're the voice of the Griffins. We're lucky to have you in town.
Yeah.
And good God. I mean, these two, Greg did say Trav drank all day.
I love it. But I saw Greg hammered at the Verve Pipe show. He's no better.
Oh.
I would say I was buzzed. I don't think I was falling down.
Eric doesn't drink. You don't drink.
No. And I was really kind of into that show. And
Wait a minute.
And wait, you'll get your chance.
You had 2 beers at the Verve Pipe show.
Me? That's ridiculous, you idiot. That's a horrible
you
thing to say.
did.
I've been sober for
I saw you.
I've been sober
Shotgun
for like
beer.
30 years, you idiot. I'm standing there, and Greg.
Then why take shots?
Greg is one of these guys. Greg is one of these guys. When you're watching the show and really into it, he'll go, "Hey, what do you think of the Lions?"
Oh yeah, he's a talker.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, would you
That
shut
never
up?
happened.
He can't stop talking. He can't stop talking.
I can promise I never brought the Lions up at the Verve Pipe show. I wouldn't bring the Lions up anywhere.
It was an example. Like it could have been you were talking about whatever, Michelle's wardrobe.
Or maybe you were drunk.
I got yelled at. He does not drink. I got yelled at. That's great. Let's start that rumor.
Yeah,
Zane's on the bottle.
Why take shots if you're not drinking?
Yeah, Zane, you got to go to the bathroom an awful lot, for a hockey game.
Well, it's because of my prostate.
Oh, damn it. I'm sorry.
He's not doing rails off someone's ass.
It's either the prostate or Patron. I don't know.
I know. All right. Yeah,
Eric?
I'm drunk right now.
Eric, thank you for supplying entertainment for
He
these
shows
boys.
up at the dog park with a bottle of whiskey.
Yes, I do. It's true. It's so true.
Pour it in the dog dishes.
It is. Yep. That's what I do.
Eric, thank you for supplying these guys with tickets, though. They
Eric.
get excited when they get to do this. It's very kind of you. And thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks again.
You're performing right now. Are you in the middle of your podcast?
I'm actually, yes. You can talk to 43 people.
Hi, 43 people.
There's more than 43.
That's about how many we have listening right now.
No, he's got 41.
All right.
Uh,
All right. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you, sir.
All right. Get out of here. See you, bye. There you go. That is, that's fun. I like them. You see, I'm slowly but surely working my way to somehow be affiliated with those people. I would like that very much. We got rid of all the people there. They got rid of all the people there who hate me. I'm really not that bad. Anybody gets a fair shake, but you cross me and now you're screwed. Kenny says, so why does he think you were drinking? It's because he had nothing to say. Nothing to say. And so he just turned to that. That's a new one. Can you imagine me drunk? Oh, God, it would be so bad. Michelle sends a nice heart because she loves me. We are teasing Travis for being hammered at the game. Yeah, that worked out well. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, and actually, Wednesday of this week, things get a little weird mid to late week. I don't think there's going to be a lot of disruption to what's going on here, but we are in a spot where I have to travel here and there to figure things out for the radio broadcast. So in my brain, this is how this goes. Wednesday, normal live show here, like I always do, and Patreon, but I might have to start it 1 hour early on Wednesday. It's either that or no show. And I really hate to not have shows. I honestly, it bugs the shit out of me. When I had to take a day off last week because I was sick, I was like, oh, God damn it, I just hate to do that. So I think that's what I'll do is Wednesday, I will be, everything is 1 hour earlier. And then I need to be on the road at a certain time to be to a certain location at a certain time, in person with radio personnel for something. Okay? So no big deal. And then there's a reasonable chance that I'll make it back Wednesday, which means no disruption to Thursday. But there's a chance that I may stay over Wednesday into Thursday. And if that does, that means there's no Thursday show, no Thursday morning shows. Off the top of my head, I haven't yet reached out to Ben. I'm expecting a Big Fraud Thursday this week. However, boy, Big Fraud Sunday came together well. When it's earlier in the day, it seems to happen easier, like the talks, the content. Because the previous week, my brain was fried. I wasn't in a good spot. But we had a hell of a time laughing our asses off on Sunday. My God, was that fun. The subject matter was just ridiculous. You need to check that out if you haven't already. Okay. So, all right. We broke down Jimmy's and Amanda's potential podcast, movies, monsters, and makeup, and armchair binge-watching podcast, whatever the hell. Update on the radio. 2 weeks away. In fact, the radio station is now teasing it. And I actually, on the Patreon, I found this out by accident, but on Friday, I gave away where this is. I actually said the actual radio station mistakenly. Did not know. And then somebody brought, I think it was Bleeding Heart Brian, said, you actually said what station it is. And when I did, oh my God. So then I confirmed it. I actually, on the Ben and Eric show, I actually talked in depth about what's going on. So that's kind of like a leak, you know? And the radio station itself is not yet saying anything. They will in 1 week. So I guess if you really want to know, you can pay for it or sign up for a week free on Patreon. If you're that much wanting to find out where I'm going and things like that. So there you go with that. Today, or I should say this weekend, Saturday, I had a goal in mind, and that was, you see, my alarm has been, I talked about this, the house-wide alarm, whatever, the alarm system, been acting up. And you set it, and then in the middle of the night, it would go off. And I'm not exactly sure, but I learned through poking around on the thing. First of all, I thought, okay, I need a technician in here, but they don't do that. What you do is you reach out to ADT and they say, look, I got on a live chat. So I got my phone and I'm chatting with a robot, and then it says, do you want a live agent? I said, well, yeah. So I get the live agent on and I explain what's up. And I go, yeah, I need a tech in here. They go, all right, well, let us try to walk you through it. Maybe we can help you. And by God, they did. They go, hit this button. Now hit this button. What does it say? I read it. They go, okay. They go, here's your issue. I go, okay. So they go, you need to replace these batteries. It turns out that the keypad, the batteries were low. Rather than it going, keypad batteries low, replace. It goes off in the middle of the night. Excuse me. So that is ridiculous. All right. I get that battery out. I order the new battery. The new battery arrives quickly. And then I put the new battery in, and it boots right up. I go, awesome. This is great. And everything kind of falls in line. All the warnings that were telling me before, other than the one telling me that battery is low, are now, as it boots up, it's doing everything fine, and it says system ready to arm. And I go, great. So then I arm it. We're all in the house for several hours. I've got it on the function where you arm it, and then you can move around inside of the house. Because if you arm it, like if I leave the house and I arm it, I'm engaging like these motion sensors. And if anything moves in the house, it's going to, and sometimes a cat does it, it'll trigger the motion sensor. And then the alarm goes off. But when you're home, you put it on another function so you can walk around the house. So I put it on there over the weekend, and I'm walking around. Fucking thing's working great. Not a peep. After all of that, I remembered, because it's been a while since I've monkeyed with this thing. There is a button sequence that you can hit that, okay, let's say the alarm, you have a home invasion, and the bad guy shows up at your house, and the alarm is going off, and he's got you at gunpoint, and the bad guy says, turn off your alarm. There's a button sequence you can hit that will shut off the alarm, makes bad guy think the alarm is now disarmed, but in fact it's not, and it has sent a signal saying, please get here fast. It's like I described it as a decoy, but I had forgotten the code. So I'm explaining it to the agent on the chat, and this person is like, we don't have that. And I go, yes, you do. She goes, we do not have decoy. That's not real. I go, all right. I hang up. I call Charity Scam Mike, who installs these. I explain to him. He goes, that's not a decoy. It's called duress. I go, oh. Okay. Yeah, that's the duress code. Had you said duress code, she would have been able to help you. I go, okay. So then I look it up, and there's two things. The first thing it says is, or the second thing on Google says, the duress code is on all these brands is the same. Okay, which is kind of weird. You think they'd let you do your own one, but it's universal. And then there's another one that says if you hit this button and then this button and then the duress code, you can change your code. Now, mine doesn't allow that, but I don't know that. So I try to get into it, and then while doing that, I hit the duress code. Now, what I don't know is, and I do it like 2 or 3 times trying to get it to change, but I've hit that sequence like 3 or 4 times now. You know where this is going, don't you? Well, it doesn't work because it's not equipped for that, even though the internet told me it may be. But I have, in fact, hit the duress code 3 or 4 times now. I come up here. I sit down. About 90 seconds later, my phone rings. It says Ottawa County Emergency Services. I pick it up. And right away, I'm like, I know what's happened. Now, this is probably going to be Freedom of Information Act by Pellerito. You know how it is with Pellerito, the goddamn stalker. She goes, do you have an emergency? I go, no. Now she's concerned. She's wondering if I'm incapacitated or something. And I explained to her no. And I have to really kind of explain the details of what I just told you to her. She goes, okay. Can you call ADT? I go, yes. I call ADT. Megan says, did she ask you the safe word? Funny you say that because I do have a safe word through the alarm company. They go, all right, what's your safe word? I give them the safe word, password or whatever. They go, all right, yeah, thank you. We'll reset. We'll log this or whatever. Done. Okay, I'm up here. Diana's out grocery shopping. I hear not the door behind me open, but the door behind that open. There's like always a vacuum effect. And I go, uh-oh, someone's walking towards me right now. And I go, and I hear a knock. And I go, uh-oh. Yes, that door opens. It's the NFK. I go, hey, buddy. He goes, goddamn cops are here. Shit, fuck. I go, oh, no. God damn it. Can you believe this shit? I go, oh, yeah, cops. Of course. Go down the steps. There's a deputy. I go, hey, how's it going? He goes, is there a problem? I go, no. Are you sure? Yes. He goes, what happened? I explained to him what happened. He goes, okay. He just laughs. That's it. I wish there was more to this. But still, all of this happened. He goes, all right, I'm just going to need your name and, like, you know, your information just to close the book on this little trouble ticket or whatever the hell this is. He's so annoyed. I'm so embarrassed. I did not know the guy, and he's new. He said I'm new. I'm from a different agency. Cole says no exchange of gunfire. No, you know, this is a really white neighborhood, so there is never that happening. What I mean by that is if I was a black guy, he probably would have shot me on the porch. Totally kidding. Amanda says we need to get the video from the cops. No, we don't. We don't need to get the video from the cops. Can we just have a moment where I tell a story and everybody doesn't fact check the goddamn story? Let's get the 911 call. Let's get this. Let's do that. Shut up. Tyler, the joke man, says, cop, quote, are there any blacks in the house? Then puts gun away when Eric says no. Amanda says, oh, no, I trust you that it happened. I just have to see this. No, you don't. You can see it in your brain. I told you the story. It's a vivid picture. We don't need video. It's already there in your brain next to the Doritos. All right? Knock it off. By the way, the alarm works fine. We're in good shape. All right. If you're watching the show on X, Facebook, or YouTube, it's time to say goodbye. You know what? I didn't even turn it on. They're not here. It's just you all on YouTube. All right. Or not YouTube, on Twitch. Anyway, Twitch and Facebook brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Thank you for following me and my platforms, supporting me, you know, the things I post on their Facebook, X, and even YouTube. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, as always. You can email me on the Shoreliners Striping inbox, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I have T-shirts at my website, ericzaneshow.com. I barely do anything with the website these days. It's just, it's kind of like everything goes through Facebook, it seems. Facebook or X or Twitch. There's only so much you can do. All right. Thank you to Tag Accounting. The Gins, Troy Ginzer. In less than 1 week, I'll be in his office. He goes 7 days a week during tax time. Sunday, I'm getting my taxes done. If you want in, go to tagcpa.net for more information. That is tagcpa.net from anywhere in the U.S. if you want your taxes done properly. Or just call 616-301-9516 for Tag Accounting. Tag Accounting is available anywhere in the U.S., as is the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505. That's 231-332-6505. Get into a mortgage ASAP. It's about time to start thinking about that. The interest rates are going down. That's making a lot of people happy. So there you go. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage will help you every step of the way. Roll out the red carpet for you. 231-332-6505. Whether it's your first mortgage or you've done this many times in the past, give Mario a try and mention your old pal EZ. Grand Rapids Gold are in action Tuesday. Last night, they were in action as well. Big winners over the Greensboro Swarm, which is one of the Carolinas, featuring assistant coach Danielle Marshall. Some of you may know that name. Anyway, GrandRapidsGold.com for tickets. We will be there Tuesday, and I want to see you there. $14 a pop. And, bring the family to see the Grand Rapids Gold. Okay. Let me do this too. TC Paintball. Word on the street now is April 28 for Paintball War 24. Don't yet have a name for it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I got it down as Paintball War number 24 on April 28th. This will be only our third Paintball War since last April. That's remarkable. We were doing the math on that the other day. We couldn't believe it. We could call it Paintball War number 24, the No Fart Zone, because of the most memorable thing, in addition to the great time that we had the last time we did the Paintball War, was Terry and Beth's kids' fart. This 12-year-old kid unleashed this death fart, and I don't know how it went down that way. Hey, everybody, let's gather around for a group photo. And we all gather around, and then he farts when everybody was together. Amanda says, Revenge of the Fart. I like that better. Tyler adds, Paintball War 24, the Mustard Gas Massacre. The alliteration there is pretty good. It's got a center around the fart. All right. So anyway, TC Paintball, think about that. Put it in your schedule and let me know if you can attend. Otherwise, book your own event at TC Paintball. Michigan's premier paintball facility. Outdoor, indoor, fun all around. The global warming has spring early this year, I think. Is that what it is? Can we just start to lean into that now and say, yep, that's it. We're done with snow now in Michigan. Paintball War number 24, TC Paintball. On taxes, Nick in the arena says, the Fed bent me over and put it in dry. I owe $2,200 more dollars. Oh. Hey, by the way, thank you for utilizing Troy, Nick. He's absolutely fantastic. Sorry that you got fucked. All right. What the hell was I going to get to? I was going to do something. Now I don't even remember. Better update that W4 info for next year. Damn. Jacqueline and Justin went on an adventure. I don't know if you're familiar with... I got to get video of this. That's what I forgot to do. Butler Blue video. Okay. The official mascot.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the...
For Butler basketball. That's a team, I think, near Indianapolis, college team. And they're the Butler Bulldogs. So the team has a bulldog as a mascot. And this is the fourth Butler the Bulldog mascot. His name is Blue, or Butler Blue. This is when they welcomed him. Right here. This is like, hey, we just got our new Butler Blue.
The Butler Blue vlog, and this just might be the best Butler Blue vlog that we've ever had because I'm Evan, and of course this is your new mascot in training. He just winked at you. Butler Blue the fourth. If you're watching this on the day we dropped this video, that means it is January 24th, and 2 days ago we announced that this little guy would be your new mascot in training.
Okay, so now he's one.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Butler Blue vlog. Evan here with Butler Blue the fourth. And if you're watching this today, it is October
male, obviously.
29th of 2020, which means this little guy is 364 days old. And yes, that means he turns a year.
Well, you know what? For a 1-year-old dog, he is, in this clip, he is relaxed. This would never happen with Darla.
Old tomorrow, if you can believe it. He stay with mom and his litter to acclimate and to grow up a bit. And that didn't mean we didn't take pictures. So we took a lot of pictures. We took a lot of...
All right, this is him when he's little. Firstborn. That dog better be with his mom. It's way too little. Oh, there's mom. All right. Okay, so that's great. This is a dog growing up. Holy shit. Look at that. How do you get anything done with a dog that cute around the house? Okay. So this dog's a mega celebrity. There's the members of the team or whatever, staff. They all love the dog. There's the dog, you know. Okay, great. That's the debut of the dog. Well, Jackie and Justin love this dog so much. They went to see the dog. So that meant going to a basketball game, a Butler basketball game. It turns out that Butler was traveling to DePaul, which is in Chicago. So they get in the car, drive all the way to Chicago, and they went and got front row seats to be right next to where they keep the dog on the court. Now, both these teams suck. So it wasn't that hard to get those tickets. But they're not there to see the basketball. They are there to see the dog. They've got shirts, T-shirts, everything. They travel from here all the way down through Southwest Michigan, around the bottom of the lake, up to Chicago, and show up at the venue. There's like 100 fans there. Nobody gives a shit about the goddamn team. And they walk in and they cannot wait. They're not even going to watch the fucking game. They're just going to go sit next to the to the dog and have a good time. They had been in communication with the guy you just saw in the video. And, we're going to be there. Oh, we can't wait. And the guy's like, Butler Blue can't wait to see you. He loves you. Thanks for getting the T-shirts. Thanks for coming. The dog is bigger than the team. Okay? By the way, I'm over here telling another amazing story. And shithead Ben is talking about getting a teacup dog. And chatty Kathy Maureen can't stop talking to shithead Ben about the goddamn teacup dog as I am telling another amazing spectacle. Sure would be. I guess I got to just shut the chat off. I can't even pay attention to you idiots. Is what I do that fucking horrible that you idiots can't shut up and just enjoy it? Why can't you let me do the heavy lifting? Why do you two twats have to entertain each other while I'm busting my goddamn hump trying to make you happy? You realize I'm trying to make you happy. And why is it always Maureen and not Linda? Does Linda ever go, oh, yeah, hey, yeah, sure, tell me about your teacup dog. Woo, 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 I'm a dumb fuck. No. Jesus. Look at that goddamn conversation between you idiots. Get into the absolute best part of the story, and you idiots are doing that. And now everybody's got to pay because I'm all pissed off. And now I need to call on Maureen. Not Maureen. I got to call on Linda. I don't even want to talk to Maureen. I got to find out what's going on in that brain of hers.
Hello.
Are you catching this?
I am. I'm watching.
What is she doing?
You're asking me like I'm supposed to know?
What? I mean, wouldn't that make sense to just enjoy the show?
Yeah, it would. And now she's telling me to shut the fuck up.
You didn't do anything.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
I mean, I dealt you in because I'm trying to get some perspective here. But I mean, this story is a perfect story, and it's increasing in intensity. Anybody who's ever seen me or heard me tell a story, they know it's about to unfold. That the culmination is about to be revealed, and Dickface Ben's starting his own conversation with Queen of Small Talk and Backstory, Maureen.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. We have the same DNA, but then again, one of us is the good sister who pays attention.
Do you think?
And one of us is not.
Now, you're like a few decades younger than her. Do you think that when she was in school, she would often get a report card that said Maureen cannot seem to quiet down in the classroom? Do you think that ever happened?
Oh, we all got talks too much. I mean, I'll cop to that too, for sure.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest. All right. Okay.
I wish I could help.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks anyway. I appreciate that. And
right.
maybe there's better days coming.
You need to deal her one of her own yellow cards.
Yeah, I might
or maybe even a red.
I might have to. All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Oh, my God. Fucking Maureen. It's like heckling in the front row. Would you do that in any other setting? No. And Ben, you're just as guilty. Jesus. Maureen says Ben made one comment and I made two. You have to understand, though, it's timing. It's the timing. It's at a key moment in the story. Everybody else could have felt it. And there you are. Linda says, don't try defending yourself. Yeah, I don't know why you try to defend yourself. Jesus. Well, anyway. See, now it's tough to get back into the story. You make my life difficult. We get a text. Dog's not there. Fucking dog did not show up. The dog has one job. No dog. The dog is not there. Jackie and Justin are like, what? How can the dog not be there? And via the dog, so there was no comment on the dog's social media. There's a guy who runs a dog's social media and always says, hey, I'm going to be in DePaul today. DePaul, I can't wait to see you. And I can give you DePaul. There's no comment about, hey, something came up. Butler Blue is not going to be there. I mean, they spent all this money. They drove all this way to see. They left. They got there. No dog. Then they hear through the grapevine, there will not be any dog. The dog is not on premises. He has not made the road trip. So they look at each other. They go, let's get the fuck out of here. Is the only reason why we came. We don't want to see these two shit teams play. Way to go, Butler Blue handler. What a dick. Unbelievable. Now, Maureen, you might not have been listening when I told that. Ben, you might not have been paying attention, but the dog wasn't there. But as long as you guys are happy having your nice conversation about whatever the fuck it was you two idiots were talking about, knock yourselves out. All right. By the way, this type of rant is not something you will hear on the radio. Eric Zaitunian does not beat up the audience like that. That is an Eric Zane quality. And I say quality in high regard. That is an amazing quality. My favorite is when you beat up audience member and then they somehow protest. It's always based on your behavior. Your behavior as an audience sometimes is horrible. And then I just simply describe it and describe how I'm feeling to you, how you make me feel. That's what I did to Aram last week. Message doesn't get through, his thick skull. I say it to Amanda. Message never gets through. Same behavior again and again. Some of you have never stepped out of line because you're aware, you're cognizant, you know you have a responsibility as an audience. Ben over here doing his own side stand-up routine to one. Maureen. My God. The worst. Why do I even show up here? I hosted a hockey game unlike any hockey game that I've ever seen over the weekend. This is my second year as the voice of the annual charity hockey game between the cops and the fire department. It usually happens right around lunchtime at Van Andel Arena. Pretty good attendance. You know, you get all the family members that are there. I've been living in this town so long that one of the cops, he was like 14 when I met him because his mom and dad are friends of ours, and he went on to become a cop. And now he's one of those cops 20 years later who has like a dog with him. He's a canine cop, you know? He's got like a wife and like 3 kids. 2 of them are twins. One is obviously, and then the 2 are twins, the boys. It was great seeing them all. So cops and fire. I love the fact that I live in a world where both the fire department and the police department can field hockey teams, or ice hockey teams, I guess. Put hockey teams on the ice. Do you have enough skaters? And they did. You even had not only the dudes, but ladies on both teams. Okay? And so this is awesome. I did this last year. It's ultimate beer league hockey. Now, I don't recall this happening last year. There might have been some pushing and shoving. But there was a line brawl on the ice between the hockey and the fire department. Just the other day. And I knew that it was being recorded, so I said to my video guy, Eric Naki, I go, dude, you got to get me this video of this fight. I got to play it on the show. And he seemed to be hemming and hawing about his ability to go back into the footage and procure it. And you ever ask somebody something and they start to, rather than just saying the only thing that you want to hear, which is, no problem, I'll get that done for you easy. They go, well, I got to do this and I got to render and I got to go through a lot of data. And they start telling you the steps, which that translates to, you're not worth it. That's too much work for me to do for you, so I'm not going to do it. And so that's what Naki does. He gives me well, I got to this, that, and then, yeah, sure. And I'm like, you're not going to, you just won't do it. That's what that is. And it's true. He didn't. And I'm like, why don't you just say fuck off? Wouldn't it be easier? Reduce your syllable count by 99% and say fuck off. I would actually appreciate that more if people just said, fuck off. Rather than all these reasons why they can't. Like when Jackie reached out to Butler Blues handler and said, hey, looking forward to seeing you. He could have said fuck off. That would have been okay. When I was telling the story about Butler Blue, rather than Maureen engaging in a conversation with Ben and Ben engaging in a conversation with Maureen during the high point of the story, they could have wrote, yeah, fuck off. We're talking here. Maureen says, I was listening too. Yeah, but I don't know that. I think it's so shitty that you're not even paying attention. And then Corey, he smells blood in the water. He says, well, thank God Eric got to finish that interesting story. Fuck you. Fuck you. Everybody hates you. This is why you have no friends. This is why you spend your time playing video games. To no one. Shut up, nerd. God damn it. All right. And as the game's winding down, okay, in this one, the Fire started off. They got their ass kicked last year, 8-1. So as the game's getting ready to start, I go walk into the locker room and I said, hey, you guys ready to get heckled? They go, yeah, fuck yeah, make fun of us. I go, okay, great. Go to the fire department, same thing. I go, are you guys going to do better than you did last year? Yeah, fuck you. Okay, great. And they did. They jumped out to like a 2-0 lead or 3-0 lead, and then they didn't score anymore. They got their asses kicked. The cops gave them a sniff, and then the cops came back and just told those firefighters to go fuck themselves. And the cops were Derek Chauvin, and the fire department was George Floyd. That's what happened there. Metaphorically, the fire department did an impression of George Floyd, and the cops did an impression of Derek Chauvin. Right there on the ice. Oh, my God. And so there's about 2 minutes to go. And next thing I know, there's a brawl. And these guys are so happy. They're laughing and smiling while they're punching each other in the face. And this wasn't like play fighting. No. And then some jackass comes off the bench. And, oh, my God, this had a very high risk of being a bench clearer. I'm doing commentary because this is like a lighthearted affair. And so it isn't like in the AHL where if there's a fight, you don't go, oh, yeah, get him. But that's what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, all right, come on, hit him. Oh, no. And it was awesome. So much fun. Oh, my God. And then the guys come into the box. They all get 5 minutes for fighting. And they're all like, the fire department's to my right and the cops are to my left. And in an instant, no hard feelings. The fire guy screams over to the cops, "That was great." Cop guy goes, "Yeah, man, you got to do that sometimes. How are you? How are the kids?" "They're fine." "Hey, you going to the garage bar after?" "Yeah." "All right, I'll buy you one." "Okay, easy. You go?" And I go, No, I don't want to be near you animals. Fuck you. They've got, and I'll never forget looking over at the fire department guy as he's talking and laughing. His white teeth have like streaks of blood on them. Because his lips are bleeding from getting him pounded into oblivion. Oh. Megan writes, Eric, ... That usually means I did something wrong. I don't remember. What? What did I do now? Oh, I know why she wrote that. Because of the Derek Chauvin Floyd joke. That was a good joke. Are you kidding me? What? I didn't kill the guy. I didn't like say, yeah, go cops, go kill black people. I didn't do any of that shit. But I mean, it was a great metaphor. It was wonderful. It illustrated my point perfectly. The cops slaughtered the fire department in that game. It's a wonderful illustration. Couldn't have been more vivid. Let's add this to things you will not hear on the radio show. References you will not hear on the radio show. You will not hear the fire department referenced as George Floyd, with the cops being referenced as Derek Chauvin. This is yet another reason why when the radio station said, yeah, make sure you promote the podcast, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. We're not going to have that. No. I said, maybe at some point after I win over some trust with them. But if I were to ever discuss the podcast on the radio show, it has to be such a stellar warning. Okay? Like, the hockey team lets me promote the podcast. When I start announcing a hockey game, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Van Andel Arena, your home for the Grand Rapids Griffins. I am your PA announcer, Eric Zane. In my 19th year doing PA for the Griffins, I'm also the host of America's Worst Podcast, the Eric Zane Show podcast, voted worst in America for 5 years running. Listen if you dare. Now, that does two things. One, it's funny. Second of all, it's true. So when they do listen to it, they go, God damn, he wasn't kidding. I try not to mince words when it comes to what they may hear on the podcast. I was talking with somebody about that, about the uniqueness of occasionally, if you're in a boat like myself, you may have a question line. Well, hey, you're if you're going to do radio, you can't talk like you do on the podcast. And what I want to say is, really? Oh, I can't believe that. How will I do that? Well, it's like, well, of course. No one in the right mind would say anything here, anywhere else. I wouldn't say what I say on this fucking show in the kitchen, let alone outside or on the radio. All right? Yeah, but how will you control it? And it's like, idiot. It's not a nuclear reactor going on meltdown. I'm not the Hulk, where it just happens and I can't control it. No. Cole has a question, and it's crazy that you ask me because I'm going to cover this. The hottest name in the NHL right now is Matt Rempe. And a lot of people are happy because there's been so many fights. He's been in 3 fights already. Or I'm sorry, 6 NHL games, 6 fights. One of them was with Nick Delorier. That Jimmy sent me this one. I remember Nick Delorier when he played in the minors. He came through Grand Rapids a time or two, and yeah, he was an ass kicker. Rempe for the Rangers is a giant. Good skill player, scores a lot. He's physical presence. He flashes the badge, and he'll kick your ass. So this was like a week ago. Rempe and Delorier have been talking. They're like, all right, let's get this going. The fans want to see us fight. So let's break this down. You got young Rempe going against tough man Nick Delorier.
Played up ahead. It didn't connect.
They're at the bottom.
The rookie Will Cooley. And we have the pop.
By the way, I hate these types of fights where they're like, hey, you want to fight? Yeah, sure. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I like the fights, but for this reason, no. They're just fighting to fight. If you fight, it's got to be, like if Rempe's skating and one of their skill players gets taken advantage of, then you fight. You don't just go, hey, you want to fight?
Played up ahead. It didn't connect with the rookie Will Cooley. And we have the possibility of a heavyweight battle right here. Delorier and Rempe sizing each other up.
All right, let me make sure I got this. I don't want to fuck it up. I'm always worried that when I'm rolling it, it's not right.
This started in warm-up.
Big shots.
Whoa!
Ooh, he goes low. Oh, that one.
Many of these anymore. Oh, you don't. I was just thinking that, reminiscent of the old days in this rivalry.
Ooh. And then Delorier finishes with the elbow. He's quite a bit shorter, too. Rempe's a big boy.
Last time I've seen a scrap like that in an NHL game. And the crowd is going crazy.
Oh, no.
This is the first.
Just see that guy. Holy shit. There is not one player on the Red Wings that would even bother doing that right now. Joe Martinez says Dylan McElrath would do that. Dominic Shine does the same thing. Shine not as much. McElrath, I don't think I've ever seen a more devastating player in my life. I think McElrath is still floating around to this day, and I think he might even be with an NHL club. Goddamn, when that guy would get loose, when the wires would cross on Dylan McElrath, get out. Oh, I don't think in all my years I've seen, other than Darryl Bootlin. Darryl Bootlin is probably the most legendary fighter that comes through in both leagues, frankly. He's an all-timer, Darryl Bootlin. That guy's elevator did not go all the way to the top. Mac was the same thing, but he was a better player. Hershey Bears, apparently, who are leading the league. That was something. Coach Nelson coaching the Bears, and they're leading the league in points and wins. There you go. That's your hockey talk for the day on the Eric Zane Show podcast. All right. Your old pal EZ has to go tinkle. Stand by. All right, I'm back. I noticed as I walk out, Ben says, now, Maureen, can we talk teacup puppies? You see, that would work. That would work. You know? Perfect. Ben, it's Ben's fault. Ben did everything. Who started the teacup puppies talk? How does that even percolate? And there's this crazy connection between you two twits. Oh, Maureen. In every Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, we usually wrap up the show with, okay, what's the final word? What's the final word? And everybody goes, like Jimmy goes, yeah, go Bruins. And Ashley says, oh my God, I fucking hate you. I love you. I'm dumb. I'm smart. Fuck you. Look at my tits. Someone look at me. I'm going to say something that's going to get the guys hot and the girls mad. Fuck you. I suck. You suck. Fuck you. Maureen will go, she'll want to tell you that she just won $1 million, for example. If Maureen won the lottery, it would start with, well, it all started the day I was born. And then like 11 or 12 hours later, she's finishing up the story of her birth. I mean, we are talking so many details. And you can just feel your blood pressure dropping. And you're like, oh, God, here we go. And then finally you have to go, okay, stop. Enough. Kenny says Ben made one comment, Maureen made two. It wasn't really that much, honestly. Excuse me. Dickhead. I said that. We've had that conversation in this show. I told you it was timing. Key point of the story, and there you guys are. It doesn't matter how many it is. It's when. Person's telling a story. Let's say, Kenny, I'm talking to you. And I'm talking to you about whatever the topic may be. And you stop, and then you stop looking at me to have a conversation with Derek. And you don't even acknowledge me in any way. Like I'm saying, hey, Kenny, so anyway, this is what I think you need to do for this, that, and the other thing. And we're having a conversation. Or you ask my opinion, or I'm telling you a story. Doesn't matter. And then you go, Hey, Derek, I think that hoodie that you're going to wear all day and not interact with people is going to look great. I'd be like, wait, what just happened? That's how it is. And I don't understand why it's so hard to grasp that. I don't understand why you don't understand where I'm coming from here. Cole says, talking about Miss Pac-Man. Hey, Derek, did you know that if you get to level 75, Miss Pac-Man's got a blue fucking bow on her head? That's all. That's it. There's nothing more about it than that. Kenny says, I knew he'd turn on me, but you guys didn't really deserve it, so whatever, it's fine. Well, it's not so much about turning on you, it's explaining to you where I'm coming from. So that's it. Kenny says, no, you both were discussing a key detail in the story, proving y'all were listening. Again, you're not listening. I said that. I know you're listening. The fact of the matter is, it seems like you're not because you're having a conversation with each other. This is I can't explain it any simpler. And of course, you would jump in and throw yourself into the fight because you've been a victim of this too. You've had it, not a victim. You've been the same person for a time or two. So no, I know I'm making sense with you all. I know that all the right-thinking people feel good about this. But I have had enough. So starting with Kenny, that's 10 minutes, 2 yellows and a red. Starting with Maureen, that's 2 yellows and a red. You're done too. And Ben Glaze, you're not innocent in this. You're getting 2 yellows and a red because you started the whole goddamn thing. All right. So that is 3 fuck yous, 3 timeouts. It's been a while since I've unleashed that. Kenny, he's been asking for it for quite some time. This whole show, in fact. So now, you realize when I do this, it's going to result in, the usual response. This is the schematic. Kenny throws himself into this fight. Now, several Facebook messages are being written to people trying to get a shoulder to cry on. And then he will cancel his Patreon. And then he will say, fine, I'm done. And then he'll go to one of his sock accounts, his fake names. He'll log off the one he uses now and log on to one of the fake ones, and then still participate, like trying to be subdued, which it stands out. I know exactly who he is. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I don't say anything. And then a couple of the people who he's going to send messages to are like, hey, EZ. And I'm like, look, don't fall for this. This has been good. This is years of this. Just let it be. Let it go. Let it go. And then it'll all work out in the end. That's how this is. This is how, because he saw the attention Maureen and Ben were getting in the beating they got. He's like, I got to get me some of that drama. It's been way too long since I've been fussy. So I'm going to get involved and make sure that he knows that I'm fussy too. Hey, I can get some of that action. So that he throws himself into, I got him figured out. I mean, I've had this down for years. And then he gets what he wants. It's the first ever triple banning we've had. And first triple ban hammer ever. And now you pick up the pieces. Now, the difference is Ben and Maureen are going to chuckle, giggle, and laugh. And then they'll be back here raising hell in just a few short minutes. But not Kenny. Oh, no. He's going to fucking... oh, my God, Derek, we got to go. We got to go to church, pray. Because this is such a terrible thing. It's been doled out to us. This isn't fair. For the love of God, baby Jesus, please watch over us during our time of need. This is too much. I'm going to call my Facebook friends, and they're going to give me a shoulder to cry on. Fuck you, Eric Zane. I've canceled my Patreon. And I am done. I am done with you, Eric Zane. I will only watch the show, every second of it, with my sock accounts. You will not see my usual name there anymore. And after about 15 minutes, I will feel better. But fuck you, I hate you for life. Tophus says you know too much about this. Oh, yeah, I've lived it. He says it's almost like emotional abuse. Oh, no. Not by me. I didn't do anything. It's this ritual that we go through. It's this regular. It happens. I wish that 5 years ago, oh, he says that's what I'm saying. I could have plotted this out on a calendar. It's like September 7th. Mount St. Kenny erupted, and then plot out all the things that happened. Okay, this person was contacted. Okay, I was banned. Okay, he canceled Patreon. I got the phone call. Okay. And then, okay, back on this day, September 8th. Oh, my God. It's just one thing after another. It's incredible. And then as it unfolds, I kind of like just go, all right. Well, now this is the time where I have to back off. Let it all unfold. Let it work itself out. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm sad. I'm a jerk. Whatever. Okay. Fine. I just made one point between Maureen and Kenny, and third man in, again, not your lane, has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. And now here you are weeping, playing Pac-Man, and, reaching out to various audience members trying to bolster support. Will you join me in a band? What? Yes, I have decided I can take no more of this, and we must band together and tell him to suck our dicks. Are you with me on the dick sucking order? He's a fucking asshole. I didn't do anything. Okay, let me tell you what I'm guilty of today. I am guilty of coming in here like I have done for the past 5 years and almost 2.5 months, I think. No, actually, 2 months, almost to the day. And doing the same thing I've been doing, and that is trying my best to make you happy and laugh and listen to the stories and the conversation on my own. That is all I have done for this long. And the one time that I'm telling a story, occasionally I'll be telling a story, and people are like distracting me with various comments about nothing. And you're distracting the other people in the chat. It's a legitimate concern, a legitimate gripe, and I have to police it. If I didn't police it, you guys would just look at this as a goddamn social club. So if I don't police it and make comedy out of the shit that you're giving me, I'm lost. The time that I didn't do that, you know what it became? It became the Zaniacs. Those fucking assholes would get on there and talk about group sex and how fucked up they got over the weekend and how much Trump needs to fuck Biden in the ass and all this shit and all their nonsense. And they hate gay people and they hate black people and all their hatred and vitriol. That's what the chat was. That's what had so many people like the Ryan W's of the world not participate in the chat. So I keep a very close eye on the chat. And when I'm telling a story, which I've looked forward to telling you, and asshole Ben is trying to talk about teacup puppies and Maureen is in, shut up. I mean, my God, I got to nip that in the bud. Jeez. So yeah, nobody is immune. Even someone as sweet as Maureen, as sweet as Ben, they get the same treatment as Kenny, who is, so often squarely in my crosshairs. From his perspective, he'll be like, oh, that's Eric's fault. Eric is, and I'm like, look, no, I'm not. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm good. All right. Thank you to Green Medicine Shop. I know that some of you enjoy cannabis like a lot. By the way, at the Gold Games yesterday, I was sitting there at the scorer's table and I smelled cannabis. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where is that coming from? And I think that, I don't smoke, but I'm pretty sure that if you smoke, there's a little bit of a funk that remains on your essence. I don't know if it goes in your hair, on your skin, or your clothes, or it's in your lungs slowly leaving after you've smoked. I don't know, but I know I can smell it. Some of you have experienced what I've experienced, where I'll be driving and I can smell it while I'm driving. Someone in a car nearby is smoking in the car, and I can smell it. That reminds me, within the last year, I actually called 911. Like if you were driving down the road and you saw somebody drinking alcohol, I would call a cop. Okay? See something, say something. Okay? That's what it is. Except with pot, it's smell something, say something. So I'm like, I know you. This actually happened. You're not supposed to smoke and drive. You're not supposed to have smoked and then gotten in a car and driven. There's the car in front of me, they're smoking. So I called 911. And this is on the back on the way home from a hockey game. And I said, yeah, people in the car in front of me are smoking. And she says, how do you know? I said, I can smell it. I can smell the pot. She goes, well, sir, you know it's legal now. And I went, no, it's not. It's not legal. It's not legal to consume while you're driving. And I'd never have been blown off more. It's like as soon as pot became legal here, it really became legal. You know? There are daycare workers now smoking pot with a joint in their mouth and blowing a cloud into babies' faces. Moms are nursing while smoking pot. When that became legal, it became really legal. You're supposed to only transport 2.5 grams. It wouldn't surprise me if now, you know, like when a guy kills a deer, he straps it to the back of his car or whatever the fuck. You can see it driving home from up north. Hay bales of it on cars. Wouldn't surprise me at all if couples, I don't care, it's legal. It's not. Anyway, so I'm at the basketball game. I smell it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I lean over to Phil. I go, hey, buddy, you smell pot? And he goes, no. And I lean over to Shanae, she's a chick. She's on the music. I go, hey, can you smell pot? She goes, no. Actually, Phil could smell the pot. She couldn't. She goes, no. I go, well, your nose is small. She goes, what? I go, well, you know, you got a little petite, cute, girly nose. I've got a giant nose. There's more smell receptors in my nose. I can smell anything. Okay? Not kidding you. 1.5 later, I smell pot again. At about that time, one of the ball boys comes walking up, and he actually says to me, hey, can you smell pot? And I go, yeah, I was just telling him I can smell pot. You don't think it's me, do you? I don't know if they're smoking it in the building or what. Maybe the players. Isn't basketball one of those sports where all of the players smoke pot? I think it is. I think there's some statistics that, like when it comes to the NBA, like 99% of the league smokes pot. All right. Tyler says he smells it all the time. They also like to sit at parks and smoke in their cars. Chris says potheads stink like weeds. Or potheads stink like weed. Nick in the arena is probably one of the temps walking behind you. Dude, there is a gathering area at Van Andel Arena where the temporary employees come in and you can smell the desperation. It's a combination of dried sweat, asshole, poverty, weed, and hunger. You can smell it all. It's one of the saddest things ever. And everybody that is a temp worker has a look on their face like the most downtrodden appearance ever. Oh. There's no one in the temp pool living the good life. God damn. Nick says they sit in the stairwell on the parking ramp over at Weston and Commerce. Yeah, we're waiting. These are people who clean the arena. Oh, God damn. Tough sledding, to be sure. All right. I started that whole bit talking about the Green Medicine Shop. Anyway, if you smoke, I want you to try my sponsor, The Green Medicine Shop. Online at thegreenmedicineshop.com. There are advantages to buying medicinal cannabis. First of all, it's cheaper. Well, I shouldn't say that. What I should say is you're not going to spend your money on tax. 10% of the cost on recreational cannabis is an excise tax. You do not have to pay that when you are buying medicinal marijuana. Okay. It's also cleaner, less yeast, less mold. If you have any issues with those, allergic to any of those things, you have less of an issue when you smoke medicinally. Also, there's legal advantages to having your med card and smoking. You're like, EZ, why do I want to travel all the way to Greenville to get my cannabis? Well, first of all, it's a sponsor. And we love supporting the sponsors here on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Okay? So go out of your way. Go buy your 2.5 grams. And you're like, EZ, I don't need a med card to buy it recreationally. Well, all right. Yeah, there's that. But if you already have a med card, get it at Green Medicine Shop. Get your cannabis there. If you don't have a med card, go to thegreenmedicineshop.com. Fill out the form and get your card. Takes you 15 minutes. Cost you $90, and you get a $100 in-store credit. Sorry, voice is acting up. At thegreenmedicineshop.com. King's Room Barbershop. Got my haircut Friday. Thank you to Andy at King's Room Barbershop. Haircut will set you back $19. Northland Drive, Caledonia, and of course, 36th Street, 821 36th Street in Wyoming. King's Room Barbershop, online at kingsroom.net. Frank Fuss invites you to reach out to him. I was talking with Ben Glaze about this. He wanted to talk teacup puppies. And I said, no, let's talk insurance. MyPolicyShop.com. Buy insurance here. When it comes to all of the steps to get your health insurance on the marketplace, go through Frank Fuss at buyinsurancehere.com. He will help you. Thank you to Impact Power Sports, ImpactPowerSportsMI.com. They are the best. With a showroom in Rockford, Michigan on 14 Mile Road. ImpactPowerSportsMI.com, Michigan's newest dealer of Yamaha golf carts. Buy stuff on my Vouch store, vouch.store/Eric Zane. Thank you very much. Go check out the products there. Of course, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, longtime sponsor of the show. Get your car repaired at Irvine's. 616-532-6600. That's where the car show is. That's where what else do we do there? We do the car show there. We do the great food giveaway there. We get our cars repaired there. I think one day we're going to do a chili cook-off there. We were planning one during COVID, but it fell through because of COVID. 616-532-6600. By the way, did you see how COVID now? They have canceled the 5-day window that you are supposed to stay quarantined. Now, if you're an asshole, what you do is you say, see, it's just like the flu. It's all bullshit. 5-day quarantine canceled. CDC dropping 5-day COVID isolation guidelines. We no longer need to routinely stay home from work and school for 5 days under new guidance planned by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The change has raised concerns among medically vulnerable people. Let me get into this a little bit. The change ends a strategy from earlier in the pandemic that experts said had been important to controlling the spread of the infection. They are updating. Now, I'm going to guess. I haven't looked at this article yet, but I'm guessing because of the expanded effort on treatment and the change in the virus itself has changed the guidelines that we need to follow. Basically, it's updating. But that is going to get into the minds of the KMKs of the world, and especially the dumb fucks around Ottawa County. And they're going to be like, oh, my God, you see, this was all a planned scam. All that shit. You're going to hear all that. Filter that out, please. That's what stupid people say. The CDC says it's updating its recommendations to bring them in line with its advice for other kinds of respiratory infections, including influenza and RSV. Offering a single set of unified guidance will make people more likely to follow it. You know, because people are too dumb to follow a protocol for each of those. So they have to streamline it because of the stupid factor. The CDC now says people who have COVID should stay home until they've been fever-free without medication for at least 24 hours, and their symptoms have been improving for 24 hours. So basically, they dealt with a broad stroke when it started because, you know, everyone was dying. It's been refined. After that, it's fine to resume regular activities. But they recommend that people take additional precautions for the next 5 days, including improving ventilation, masking, and limiting close contact with others to lower the risk of spreading the virus. The morons won't hear any of that. The article goes on to talk about changing impact of COVID-19 in the U.S. They said they're changing its guidance because most of the U.S. population has some immunity against COVID. And as a result, the country is no longer seeing large waves of infections, hospitalizations, and deaths from it. Instead, these have turned into smaller, more predictable bumps in transmission in the summer and winter as the nation reaches a kind of steady state with the virus. Very simple. Very simple explanation. No, it's not a goddamn conspiracy. No, it wasn't dealt with inappropriately to start. It was dealt with, in fact, not appropriately enough. Hell, I was of the opinion that we should have fucking kicked in the door and jammed the shot into all of you fucking idiots. Tyler says, I got COVID in January. They told me that come back to work when you feel better. Nick has a comment about the temp crew working at the rink. Some of them get drunker by the hour from drinking the leftover half beers. Oh, no. That's why they love cleaning the arena. They get hammered. Tophus says, the Constitution alludes to go into drastic measures when there's a threat to the greater public. Exactly. I'm so glad we did that. I wish, but you can't explain that to these morons, Chris says, right in the neck is how you put it, if I remember correctly. Oh, yeah, I wanted CDC Gestapo to kick in the door and shoot you with the trank dart, but not trank. It's just the fucking vaccine. That's how I lost all those members of Zaniacs United. It started with that. They started to hate me when I started to make sense about COVID. And then the stalking behavior got really intense. And then that's it. You're out. Fuck you. I don't want you around. I'm so glad those people are gone. I can't tell you how thankful I am that those fucking toothless mouths are no longer associated with me. Tyler says people like Huge whine about their freedom because they had to wear a mask for a little while. Boo fucking who. So Tyler wrote freedom, and there's a lowercase f and a capital R and a lowercase e and a capital E and a lowercase d and a capital O and a lowercase m. What does that mean? I see that from time to time, and I don't understand why people write that. What is that? What is the significance of the lowercase and the capital letters? Chris says that is sarcasm font. So does Tophus. I did not know that. I have never heard that before. I've never been able to understand why people do that, but now I do. It's a way to convey tone in text. All right. Or if you end your sentence with /s. That I knew. Well, you'll be seeing it from me. Excuse me. Okay. Of course, as Joe Martinez batting last in the order today, yet next Monday he will be the top of the order. I rotate them. Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579 for A&E Heating and Cooling. Here we are now. It's March, and we got to start thinking about scheduling for the AC tune-up. Do it this year with A&E Heating and Cooling. 616-516-8579. 616-516-8579 for A&E Heating and Cooling. Or if you need something a little bit more extensive, I predict a AC replacement in this household before too long because we just replaced that furnace. I don't know if that air conditioner is original or not, but that furnace thing was, I was so happy with that. Or I have been so happy with that. Joe and his crew did an amazing job. And that thing has just been spectacular. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 616-516-8579. Okay, it's time for the asshole of the day. And I know that this is risky. Right now, there is a round fellow on top of a parking structure where the Ms. Pac-Man t-shirt standing on the edge over the beat up today. And it's important that I point out that Kenny gets asshole of the day today because of the third man in involvement. You can't be third man in, okay? You had the two people that were involved, Maureen and Ben, and that was settling down. And then, of course, Kenny wanted some of that action, and so I gave him the chin music. Kenny has earned now his league-leading 11th Asshole of the Day award. Incredible. For his third man in on what was basically me just doing my job. I have to do this show and be the unbelievably amazing storyteller that I am and police the chat. My job. All right? So there you go. Kenny is going to have to eat that Asshole of the Day award. Chris says Blues Trainer, Asshole of the Day. I think Butler Blues Trainer would have been Asshole of the Day. Kenny calls me a bad name. I did not call you a bad name. I just called you the Asshole of the Day. That's an award. He said, you're such a dick. Nick says, Asshole of the Day, the CDC. See, Nick's one of my sweet listeners who, when it comes to this shit, he's stupid. So as much as I love Nick, he's like, I think by your freedom. Kenny says, Maureen and Ben didn't deserve your beat up, and he gave me the finger. Again, not your fight. None of your business. Chris refers to him as a white knight. Bob blames the train company. Tophus says that Kenny is totally white knighting. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Of course he is. Tophus says you need more mods. You're hired. You're hired. The job is yours. Ben says we deserved it. Now, why that is important? Because he completely obliterates Kenny's, I was there defending their honor. I was there being a defender and protecting those vulnerable people from your hatred. And so Kenny's over here crying and moaning about all that shit. And Ben goes, yeah, we totally deserved it. It was fucking great. Thank you, Ben. For that, Ben, I take away Ben's banning. Okay? That means though you had to sit out 10 minutes, I am taking it away, and I am I'm going to give it to Kenny. Well, wait a minute. It says untime out Kenny. I didn't untime out him. So Ben has lost his, and yeah, I guess I can't do it. I'd give you another one, but it's not agreeing with me. Maybe I need to refresh. I don't know. Oh, yeah, here you go. So now I take the one away from Ben and I give it to Kenny. So Kenny now has managed to earn 2 timeouts. All I need is Maureen to say, "You're right, EZ. I was just being a little chatty." Ben says it was funny. And Maureen says, agreed, Ben. So that means we're all on the same page, except Kenny. So now I will unban Kenny. And then I will take Maureen's banning. And I will give it back to Kenny. So that means Kenny has been banned 3 times in this show and no one else. And earned asshole of the day. This couldn't be more perfect. My God, thank you, Maureen. I love you for that. Ben, you know what? You guys are good in my book. Thank God we took out the trash on this show. It all works out. Kenny's out the door. Just canceled his Patreon. I just got the notification. Canceled Patreon. And he's now going to participate under his name, Screaming Mutant Defender _pound 505. And act like he's new. And yeah, all of you will get messages on, what do you call it? Facebook, messengers. Could I bend your ear for just a minute? I got the blues because I was talking to Derek about it. He said, Dad, all you gonna do is put your hoodie on, don't communicate with anybody for about 4 years. And just stay inside and play video games. And that'll make all the hurt go away. And that bastard Eric Jake put on you. Oh, my God. Tyler says, this is the best part of today's show right here. Well, that actually is offensive because I think I was really great earlier in the show. I think you need to say, the whole thing was great, but this is my favorite part. That makes that a compliment. There you go. You see, that I'm very sensitive to that. If you tell me that one crack it's the best part, is, well, what's bullshit? Because I put my fucking ass on the line for the whole goddamn thing. All right. Thank you. All right, that's it. That's it. Enough of this shit. I'm going to do the Patreon show. And, of course, we're going to be talking about Kenny go, that's it. I have put my fucking fat foot down. And you motherfucker are going to pay for this shit. You motherfucker, I hate you. I hope you die, you fucking cocksucking son of a bitch. Fuck you. Baby Jesus says that I can fuck you right in the ass. Fuck you and your fucking dogs, too. I love everybody except you. Somebody help me. I don't know why I did that. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.